Hey y'all, it's Devin. I wanted to get on here today and do the review for Inglot. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I just found out last night that the Inglot 10 pan palettes, the square ones, are going up on Monday, February 7th in price from $50 to $80. That is a significant price increase. I don't know about their other Freedom palettes. I don't know about their individual products. But I do know that that has been verified, that these particular palettes are going up $30. So I thought I would get on here and do a review for you guys. For those of you who have never tried Inglots or maybe on the fence about trying Inglot, so that way you could either go to the website or go to a store that's near you and grab it if you wanted to before Monday. I got other stuff from Inglot besides the eyeshadows. So I'm going to do, I got a blush, a powder, a concealer, and 3 lip glosses. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick review on those, but this is going to mainly focus on the eyeshadows, because that's mainly what the big hype about Inglot is: the wonderful eyeshadow, the great pigmentation, the you know, the way it blends out so easily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys swatches of, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 eyeshadows from Inglot, and I'm going to compare them on the same hand with swatches from other considered top brands. I'm only going to do brands that you can find palettes around $50, less than $80. So I'm going to review, or I'm going to compare Smashbox, Kat Von D, Urban Decay, and Tarte. I'm going to compare all 4 of those to Inglot and show you guys, you know, how the color payoff is. Bottom line, I think the palettes were worth $50. I think that was a great deal. You know, you are getting 10 shades for $50, but I do not think they're worth $80. You can always go to Sephora, you can always go to, if you're a QVC shopper, or these individual websites that I'm going to do comparisons with, and find an eyeshadow palette, if not a whole kit with a big eyeshadow palette, for well under $80. The reason I'm not comparing it to MAC is because MAC is more expensive. Just a little bit, but not much. You know, just a little bit, but it is. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. I'm not feeling that great. But anyway, yeah, so I think it's kind of shitty of them to raise their prices by $30, basically because of the popularity that they've gained from YouTube and word of mouth, I'm sure. I read that somebody said on Twitter last night that the reason was because their manufacturer was raising their prices or something, which would probably have been understandable if the price increase was, you know, $10, $12. But this is a $30 price increase. I mean, come on, you know, that's, I don't know. It's a good thing that I got my palettes before they increased, because like I said, I will not pay $80 for another palette, nor do I think they're worth it, and I think it's pretty shitty of the company to be so greedy, to be perfectly honest. With that being said, though, that's not going to change my review on these products. So I'm just going to get started, and like I said, I'm going to go over the other things that I got real quick from them. So if you watch back to my haul where I showed the Inglot stuff that I got, I gave color numbers. I'm not going to give color numbers right now because I'm not going to take them out of the pans to get the color numbers. I'm sorry, and I threw that other piece of paper away. But if you go back, you can get color numbers if you're interested in any of these colors. So this is the concealer that I tried. I don't remember what color it was, but it's fairly light. you know, because I'm light complected. It's very creamy consistency, not cakey at all, but not good coverage at all either. The coverage is crap, so I do not recommend the concealer at all. These three right here, this one, and this one, are all three lipsticks or lip glosses. I don't know how they were classified. The pigmentation is definitely a lipstick pigmentation, but they are glossy, so you don't have to put a gloss over them. I love the color payoff on these. It is fantastic. It lasts a long time. It doesn't dry. It doesn't dry your lips out. It really, really is good. I can't say enough good things about the lip glosses. So if you were looking into that, those I would definitely recommend. They yeah, they just feel really nice. They go on really nice. Great color payoff for the lip glosses. And then I tried a powder and a blush. This is the powder that I tried, just a regular powder. It's not supposed to be a foundation or give any coverage or anything. I didn't really like the powder at all. I have way better powders. I just didn't like the powder at all. So the powder and the concealer, nah. This is the blush that I got, and let me show you a swatch of that. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I really like the blush. It is very, I believe I said about 1,500 times, and I'm probably going to say it another 1,500. Anyway, it is very pigmented. I do have blushes that are equally as pigmented that, you know, cost way less. But, you know, it is a good blush. I would recommend the blush. Okay, so 2 thumbs up for the blush, 2 thumbs up for the lip glosses, lipsticks, whichever they are. I think they're lip gloss. 2 thumbs down for the concealer, 2 thumbs down for the powder. Okay, now I'm going to go into the eyeshadows. I've used these eyeshadows probably about 6 or 7 times. They are highly pigmented. I'm not going to argue with that. They do blend easy. I'm not going to argue with that. They're not any more highly pigmented than any of these other brands that I'm going to show you, though. I don't feel like they blend any easier than any of these other brands that I'm going to show you. I do feel like my eyelids are extremely, extremely oily, and I do feel like just by judging on how they look at the end of the day, that these could possibly crease even with my best primer on quicker than these other ones that I'm going to show you. So that's kind of something to look out for. There's been a lot of hype about these, and I mean major big time gurus that are, you know, way bigger than me. So my opinion is kind of, you know, take it for what it's worth. I was, you know, the reason I was so gung-ho about Inglot is because I saw X Parkage's review on it. And, you know, she's a huge guru, and she just raved and raved and raved about it. So I was like, well, I have to get that. I have to get those. So I was expecting, like, holy grail products. And they're just not, guys. I mean, they're really not. They are no better than if you're a Smashbox girl, an Urban Decay girl, a Tarte girl, a MAC girl. They're no better than any of those other ones. I really don't understand after using the products what all the hype was about. And it's definitely not worth 80 bucks for this. I mean, it's just not. So let me get into the comparison now that I've had that spiel. First, I'm going to compare the Smashbox. And I'm going to try to let you guys see me, like, dip my finger into this so you can see the comparison. Okay. The first finger is going to be Smashbox. I'm just going to rub a little bit. And then I'm going to compare it with this one right here from Inglot, which I'm going to rub a little bit. Okay. Now you can see the color payoff is just as good. The Inglot is just a tad bit creamier. It feels like a little bit smoother. But again, this is Smashbox, this is Inglot. You can see I rubbed them just the same amount of time. The color payoff is just as well. I know from experience, since I've used both of them, that they both, Smashbox blends just as well as Inglot, and the staying power is just as good. So the only up that Inglot shadow has on Smashbox shadow is it is a tad bit creamier. The next one I'm going to do, I'll try to wipe my hands off, which is not working out very well. The next comparison I'm going to do is Kat Von D. So I'm going to try not to compare the exact same colors. Okay, so I'm going to dip my finger into, make sure it's dry, this right here from Kat Von D. And I just am going to rub it across twice. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with this color from Inglot, and I'm going to rub it along twice. Exact same pressure and everything, and those two colors are kind of actually very similar, and the color payoff on the Kat Von D was better. This is Kat Von D, this is Inglot. You guys hopefully saw me literally swipe both of them twice. I did not rub Kat Von D more than I did Inglot. The texture on the Kat Von D was creamier than the Inglot. Obviously the color payoff is better, and these colors are very similar. The one from Inglot has a little bit of shimmer in it. The Kat Von D doesn't. Again, Kat Von D, Inglot. So the Kat Von D is better color payoff than the Inglot, and creamier as well. And again, it blends just as easily. Next I'm going to do Urban Decay, and the only palette I have from Urban Decay is the Naked palette. So I'm going to try to compare, I'm going to try to get a brown that's as close to the brown that I have from Inglot as I can. Okay. I'm going to compare Sidecar from the Urban Decay Naked palette. Sidecar is this fourth one over right here. And I'm going to do it again twice. And then I'm going to compare it to this brown right here from Inglot. And again, twice. They looked a lot more similar in the pan than they do on hand, but they're kind of fuzzy. Hang on. Okay. This is the Urban Decay Sidecar, and this is the Inglot palette. The texture is just about the same, actually. And it looks like to me that I got more product from the Urban Decay palette. This one's kind of a toughie. These two are kind of, you know, kind of neck and neck. The texture was just about the same, but it appears to me that this one right here, which is the Sidecar from Urban Decay, picked up more in the two swipes than this one did, which is the brown from Inglot. So if I had to pick between those two, it would be on whether or not you wanted shimmer or not, to be perfectly honest, because the Urban Decay has shimmer, the Inglot doesn't, but those two are pretty much equal to me. Except, come Monday, they won't be equal in price. You can get a huge Urban Decay palette for well under $80 with a lot more than 10 shadows in it. So, and again, they blend just as well. The last thing I'm going to do is the Tarte, and I'm actually going to, let's see, yeah, that color looks good. the only thing I have for Tarte eyeshadow is the jewelry box. So I'm going to compare this color right here on Tarte. 1, 2, to this color right here from Inglot. It's as similar as I can get. 1, 2. Okay. Again, the texture is about the same. The Tarte is just as creamy as the Inglot. Again, the first finger is the Tarte, the second finger is the Inglot. You can see that the one from Tarte picked up more than the one from Inglot. And I promise you guys that I'm not trying to make it seem like these other products are better because I think it's crappy of the company to be upping their prices. I promise you that's not what's going on here. I'm giving you an honest review and an honest comparison. I'm putting the exact amount of pressure on the Inglot palettes that I am on the other palettes. You've seen me, I've only done 2 swipes per palette. So these are true comparisons. Again, this is Tarte, this is Inglot. Tarte has more color payoff. I got more from it. It's just as creamy, and I know that it blends just as well. So, overall, these are not a must-have. You know, if you just want to try Inglot, and you want to try one of their palettes, then go for it. But I would do it while they're still $50. I absolutely would not pay $80 for one of their palettes. Urban Decay was equal to it. Smashbox was not quite as good in texture. Kat Von D and Tarte were both better. Texture-wise, color payoff-wise, everything. And every single one of those I mentioned, you can go to Sephora and check, you can go to their website and check. You can get way better prices than $80 for 10 eyeshadows. It's just not a must-have. The eyeshadows are good. I'm glad I got them, but they're not any better than, you know, the other eyeshadows I have. So I hope that helped you guys out. If you do go and decide to grab you some, I highly recommend the lip gloss too. You know, I've got lip gloss that's just as good, but it is nice. And the blush, I've got some that's just as good, but it is nice. So if you just absolutely have to go try Inglot, the eyeshadow, the blush, and the lip glosses are what I would recommend. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up and give you guys as good of a review and comparison as I could on that, because I know like I said, there's so much hype, and I really don't understand what it's about anymore. I'm kind of glad I got it out of my system before it cost me way more than what I paid. So, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm going to get this up for you today so you guys can see this comparison as soon as possible. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.